first up, we have Gods and Monsters. I guess that after creating Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the team behind the game weren't ready to leave ancient Greece behind them, and they set out to create a brand new storybook adventure about a forgotten hero on a quest to save the Greek gods. In Gods and Monsters, you'll find tricky puzzles, mysterious dungeons, and many mythical beasts. This game, next one, is interesting and could go either way. Deliver Us the Moon is a sci-fi thriller set in an apocalyptic near future where the Earth's natural resources have been depleted. The gameplay has both first and third person parts, survival elements like oxygen tanks depleting in the cold of space, intricate puzzles, and 3 hours of original music. Monolith Soft's epic Xenoblade Chronicles game, which originally launched in 2012 on the Wii, is destined to be reborn on Nintendo Switch as Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. We can all finally relive the adventures of Shulk in the best Xenoblade game. Doom Eternal? What do you want me to say? It's the new Doom. You know, the last one that was really good? Yeah, the sequel. Other than that, buy Doom Eternal. Because surprising everyone, the publisher announced a port to Switch before the end of 2020's fiscal year, which means like soon. Before the end of March anyway, so I decided to wait rather than have to play it twice. The game is made by Obsidian Entertainment, the company behind Fallout New Vegas. Can't lie, I've never seen or read anything to do with Fairy Tail. The only thing I know about it is I think that's where that sound effect comes from, right? The one every YouTuber uses, including myself, the... Okay, so I haven't heard of Fairy Tail, but I have played a lot of Koei Tecmo's games. Ninja Gaiden, Dynasty Warriors, Noah, Nioh, I don't know. So when you tell me that Koei is taking the best-selling manga Fairy Tail and turning it into a possibly awesome JRPG for the Switch in 2020, are you ready, kids? Aye, aye. I do so many things I regret. For years, nerds on YouTube stood in front of their game walls and blabbed on about a little hidden gem called SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Well, I guess this gem ain't so hidden no more, as it's getting a full, rehydrated remake with a brand new multiplayer mode included. To clarify, I was one of those nerds on YouTube, so I'm glad to see this game finally get the loves. While the Pokemon Company struggled to innovate their mainline games, Digimon be out here like, hold my Digivice. I do so many things I regret. The newest installment into the series, Digimon Survive, is a survival strategy role-playing game where players' choices influence the direction of the story, including the Digimon's Digivolution process. I have no idea how to say that. The game will have multiple endings, and should wrong choices be made, characters will be killed. Yep, this ain't your regular kitty monster game. Digimon has clearly grown with its audience, and I'm down for it. Hey, you know how I mentioned a lot of these games I hadn't even heard of before? Well, Cris Tales was one of them. Where the heck did Cris Tales come from? And how did I miss its initial release back in June? This game is gorgeous. My eyes don't even know where to begin. The colors, the art, the beautifully hand-drawn 2D animations. This indie gem is a love letter to JRPGs, and the world literally bursts to life. Your choices will change both the present and the future across more than 20 hours. Can anyone else smell my hype for Trials of Mana? Trials of Mana 3 has had a huge overhaul and is being slapped on the Switch this April. Gorgeous revamped 3D graphics, you can pick your party from 6 different characters, change up your classes, and save the frickin' world. I actually can't wait. Apparently back in April, a faithful remake of XIII, or 13 as some people like to call it, was announced to be coming to Switch, and it was gonna release in November? Well, that didn't happen, and I didn't know anything about any of that, but apparently it's now coming out in 2020. Honestly, this is really cool. I hope it turns out to be a fun game. The original was one of my all-time favorite GameCube games. It had a really cool comic book feelings. Of all the Wii U games left to port to the Switch, this wasn't my #1, but it deserves a good home as much as any of those other poor consoles titles. It's a strange game that blends the combat of Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei series and throws in some stunning musical performances. I'm a big My Hero fan, both the anime and the fighter. I was big time surprised when I picked up My Hero 1's Justice and discovered it was actually a really fun and solid fighting game, with a sizable roster of 20 characters, a story that cleverly followed along with the anime, and it was crammed full of action. Well, I was even more surprised to hear they were making a sequel. Was there really a need to make another sequel so soon? I mean, unless they're adding, a couple extra new characters. And now Darksiders Genesis drops in February, although unlike the other games, this is a new game in the series. And also unlike the other games, Genesis is a top-down hack-and-slash action RPG comparable to, of course, Diablo, the only game you ever compare any game of this style to. And I mean, if you're not sure about picking it up on Switch, you can try it already because it's released on Steam for $30. Or if you want a better deal, it also released on Google Stadia for $40. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is also coming out pretty soon in January. One of the weirder Final Fantasy spin-off games, but a personal favorite of mine. This new version will come with updated graphics and sounds, new character voiceovers, and a new online multiplayer mode. The first time I ever heard of or saw Snack World was when I was in Japan. This new release has gold in the title, which means it includes both expansion packs and all other downloadable content from the— Okay, it's Animal Crossing. We've all waited too dang long for this game to come out. It finally is coming out, and I'm ready to dive into my first real Animal Crossing game experience. I don't really know what I'm in for, but I can tell you that Tom Nook ain't gonna— Can I be honest with you guys though? Like, we're all out my feelings. I actually think this game looks pretty damn good. This just looks like a fun, unique take on the dungeon crawler genre. For up to 4 players, kinda weirdly there's no class system, so the players can use any kind of weapon or armor they want. It's supposed to be more fun and way less serious than other games in this genre. And a game that falls into that genre is Streets of Rage. The 4th one is releasing on Switch next year. It takes place 10 years after the events of Streets of Rage 3, and it looks good. It might actually be the best one yet, but only time. Scramble is a Dynasty Warriors style game. Think Hyrule Warriors or Fire Emblem Warriors, just with a Persona skin. It's not Persona 5. Rogue Company is a multiplayer shooter coming to all major platforms, including Switch, of course. It features cross-play and is developed by Hi-Rez Studios. It kinda looks like a mix between Fortnite and Call of Duty. Maybe? No More Heroes 3, dang it if I ain't excited for this one. Developed by one of my all-time favorites, Grasshopper Manufacture, No More Heroes is back after a 10-year hiatus. Unless you count Travis Strikes Again, which I don't. The new game will follow Travis's return to Sana Destroy, as he must defend the world from a new alien threat via hack-and-slash style gameplay, and I can't wait. Devil's Hunt is a third person which players fight their way through Hell, Jerusalem, and Miami? So this game allows you to change between human and demon forms. It has a large variety of attacks and combos, and wait, hold on a second, is this not a Devil May Cry game? Either way, I'm gonna get this one and try it. Hunt releases early 2020. Arians? This game is one I have my eye on, and I'm pretty excited to dive into. An adorably charming art style. It's an action-adventure game where you play as a young girl who gains the ability to manipulate the seasons around her. You use that ability to defeat enemies, overcome obstacles, and solve complex puzzles on her adventure across the world. I think this Rock of Ages 3 is a game where you make your own levels and destroy everybody else's. A competitive tower defense game mixed with Monty Python-esque humor that gives you, well, this. It just looks like some absurdly ridiculous fun. A Hollow Knight Silk Song